Welcome, welcome. Thank you very much for joining. Let's kindly wait for a few more people to join and, and we can go ahead and start. Thank you for coming to our live session. Thank you for joining. Thank you very much. We are waiting for a few more people to join and we'll proceed to start. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you very, very much for joining. And I do hope that after leaving this session, you would leave with insights and tips on navigating the tech world beyond the technical skills. I do hope this session impacts you and you leave with value-laden insights. Thank you for joining once again. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Please stay put as we await our guests and a couple more people, and then we can proceed as time sense. Thank you for coming. Thank you once again. Okay, we have our speaker. So I think it's time to start. You're welcome.
Yes, good evening. How are you?
Fine, thank you, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible, but I don't know if you are audible to the audience, but definitely you should be.
Okay. First of all,
So
let me
yes,
apologize for the delay. These devices, they are not very
so
reliable sometimes. At the
reliable.
last minute, sometimes they can give you
Yes,
trouble.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I've had a couple with it, especially on interviews, but somehow I just have to put myself together and attend. So I think it's part skills we need to teach as well. So thank you everyone. Thank you for joining, and I think we would commence as people continue to join. So we are being we are being uh taught the idea of breaking into building a successful career in tech, pursuing a career in tech, but all through education and informal training, the skills we need beyond the technical skills. And that is why we are here today. So I would start by introducing myself. And while there is no agenda for this meeting, I would love to go through what IT is, information technology. If just a brief definition, what is expected, what they do actually do. So basically, um, information technology. Sorry. To begin with, I would introduce myself. So Mariam Adamu Tahir. I'm the founder and CEO of Job, an iPad platform we are building to make soft skills development accessible and scalable. So by CEO, I mean Chief Evangelist Officer, not Chief Executive Officer, but to an extent, yes, I am the CEO and founder. So um, what do we mean by IT first? To define soft skills. So please give me a moment. So information technology, commonly known as IT, is the use of computers, networks, and other electronic devices to create, store, process, and transmit information. So, information technology broad, it is way beyond what we think it is. Everywhere you look at, everywhere you turn to, you see something related to information technology. So it is a broad field encompassing areas like hardware, software, and data management, which are essential for modern business operations and communication, and not just modern business. Life itself has has been changed. A lot of things have been changed in personal lives, not just in business, in the business domain. A lot of things have changed in our personal lives through info and technology. So, um, who are IT professionals? So, IT professionals are in a wide range of tasks, including building and making communication networks, protecting data and information through security measures, creating and managing databases, technical support to employees, ensuring the efficiency and organization's information systems. So this brings me to the end of my definition of and what IT professionals do. I am not an IT professional by background, but of course, I'm building a tool that would serve the entire workforce, not just IT professionals, but even the admin. Uh, in fact, then shouldn't have a boundary or limit to serving people. So soft skills are personal attributes and interpersonal abilities that affect how you work, interact with others. So soft skills are not what we entirely need at the workplace. We need soft skills to survive, to be able to live with people, to be um, able to interact with people, to be able to cope in all situations and circumstances we find ourselves. So um, there's a lot of focus skills. However, soft skills are what we need to survive, not just in our personal lives and interactions, but in our day-to-day activities at our workplace. And this is what I am doing. There is a huge gap in the soft skills aspect of work, which I and my team are trying to bridge. Presently, we are creating an awareness of these skills, and that is why we are here. So, our founder left mistakenly, but I would add him now. So, soft skills are communication, teamwork, adaptability, and problem solving. So, hard skills which you can learn, like after a few practice, you master, like um building software, you know, learning how to manage network. Soft skills are actually variable as well. You can learn even technical skills are transferable, but hard skills, soft skills are also transferable across different jobs and industries. For example, I started as a real estate virtual assistant and admin assistant, and moving towards sales, I I moved with transferable skills like communication, client communication, and it helped me adapt faster in the sales domain, whereby I interact on a daily basis with clients and prospects. But today we are talking about tech, and I would like to introduce our speaker. Enough about me already. So please hold on. Uh, I'm incredibly honored to introduce the brilliant mind joining us for this session. I had to read from the screen. So, with over a decade of experience in securing government and defense networks, advising on national and cybersecurity policy, mentoring the next generation of African tech innovators. Well, he is my mentor without even knowing. So his technical credentials are beyond impressive. And I would tell you for sure, I have seen someone with such a stack of certifications and experience him, especially from the north. So, but here's what we are most excited about. We are going beyond the core and security techniques to explore human skills that powered his technical success. So this isn't just a technical talk, masterclass in how soft skills amplify hard skills to build a legendary career. Please join me in welcoming Malam Muhammad Ubali Kiru. You have the floor now, sir.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes,
Mariam,
sir.
can you
You're
hear me?
audible.
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Can hear.
Thank you very much for this wonderful introduction. I sincerely appreciate your work and all the things you are putting together to make this possible. May God bless you and may God be with you. Thank you so much. I don't know. Am I ahead,
Yes,
Mariam?
sir. Thank you very much, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so just give me a second to share my screen.
Noted.
Okay.
Please give us a moment. Our guests, speakers, screen comes up.
Yes. So I'm trying to actually upload my presentation. I didn't know I have to upload. This is the first time I'm doing something like this.
Oh, not an issue, sir. We are happy to wait.
Thank you very much. So I'm coming up in a second. Mariam, can you see my slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I don't know why it's so small. Okay, so let's just go without the slides. I anticipated something like this could happen, so I have a plan B. So let's just go with the slides I have here on my sheet of paper. I hope they will help.
Okay.
Um,
Yes, sir.
Perhaps if anybody wants the slides later on, we will be very happy to provide them with the slides.
Share.
So
Yes, noted.
once again, thank you so much, Mariam, for that wonderful introduction. And I want to use this moment to welcome our spectators for making the time to come and listen to us discuss this very momentum topic. Um, the topic today is going to be on building a human-centric cybersecurity team. When we talk about human-centric in cybersecurity, we're actually trying to demonstrate that soft skills or hard skills, as the case may be, might not be the only thing we need when talking about cybersecurity. There are other things involved which are more human in nature, which are more human centric than just the skills. Now, why non technical attributes matter? And when we say non technical attributes, we mean those skills that we don't actually have in our hands. So, why do they matter? Now, according to a study by Oxford University in a research uh, somewhere in 2019, that 88% of security breaches that we actually face today in the cybersecurity world, they actually come from human error. They don't come from technical aspect of the system. Meanwhile, these are not bridges that we actually face as a result of weak security or weak security infrastructure, or perhaps maybe a bad firewall or something of that nature. But these are, breaches that come from human error. And there is a saying that says, human error does there is no cure to human error. There's no remedy to human error. When somebody makes a mistake, the mistake is just there. So cyber criminals today don't just attack our systems; they also exploit our human behavior. They try to understand our weak points in order to reach their targets. Now, what are these non-technical attributes that we need for somebody to become an excellent cybersecurity expert? Now, number one, we can say curiosity. Now, people believe that curiosity is the engine of proactive defense. Now, why would they say it is the engine of proactive defense? This is because, when somebody prepare their mind and when somebody has the ability to ask questions or to explore deeper, it gives them an added advantage over and above other technical personnel. And the reason is because people who are always curious to know more, they tend to find their answers. Now, let's take an example of what we call today an APT attack. APT means ad, advanced persistent threats. Now, what are advanced persistent threats? These are threats that are actually prolonged, they are very coordinated, they target something for a very long period of time, they have a lot of skills to go undetected. And normal criminals or normal cyber criminals, they don't have the ability to
Hello, sir. I think there might be a network glitch. I would send him a quick message just in case he's not aware. Sincere apologies for that. Um, we are sorry about that. I mean, we all know the situation of the country, right? We face network glitches every now and then. It's a very common thing. So he left the stream. I think he'll join again. So sincere apologies about that. So please keep your pen and paper handy so you'd learn, because like I said, this is a value laden session and you would live with not just skills and tips, but actionable tips you'd need to succeed in roles like cybersecurity. So if you are an aspiring cybersecurity professional, please stay tight and wait, because you would benefit immensely from this. So
hello.
he's joining in a minute. I just gave
So,
him
Mariam,
that
can you hear
permission.
me now?
Yes, sir, I can hear you, and your slide is actually on screen. I can
Okay.
see your slide. So,
Okay, good.
again, if you can't see the slides, we would be happy to share it. Feel free to reach out via any of the channels, whether it's the YouTube, you can leave a comment, and you can reach out via my Facebook account. I'll be happy to share it with you.
All right. So before I went missing, before my connectivity went off, I was actually talking about one of the first attributes of these non-technical skills that somebody may actually possess in order to be considered very good in cybersecurity. And one of them I said was curiosity, being one of
Curiosity.
the
Yes.
yeah. So we consider curiosity as one of the engines of proactive defense because when somebody is curious, we believe that they want to dig deeper, they want to think harder, they want to be thorough in their thoughts, and they want to know the things that are not even visible to them. They also want to read between the lines. So this is why curiosity is considered the engine of proactive defense. And as you know, a lot of people, even naturally, we say that people who are curious, they tend to own these potentials for becoming more intelligent than others. I don't know if I'm correct, Mariam. Am I?
Absolutely correct, sir. A lot of
Yes,
skills I acquire are actually out of curiosity. They were self-taught, and I know how different I am from my peers. So yes, curiosity is a game, is a big must-have for you.
yes, exactly. Before the network went off, I was given an example with an
Oh, sincere apologies again. So I think network just kicked him out of the session again, but he should be back in a jiffy. Yes, he's trying to join again. Apologies again. Um, we all know how network can be. Um, please give us a moment and he'll be back in a few seconds. Okay.
am I back?
Yes, sir, you are.
All right. So I'm so sorry once again. I don't know why the network is going off.
It's
But
always like
we are
this,
very,
sir.
very sorry. Yeah. So I was talking about an APT attack, which is an advanced persistent threat. Advanced persistent threats are attacks that sometimes we consider stealth. When I say stealth, I mean something that is invisible to radar, something that is invisible to detection. Now, people who have this ability for curiosity, sometimes they tend to uncover even advanced persistent threats without the use or without the application of practical tools. And the reason is because of their thorough investigation, is because of their
Oh,
kind of
sincere
uh,
apologies.
dig deeper.
The network is really doing us dirty this evening, but I figure out it's because a lot of people are actually at home, so the traffic is really
Yeah,
not flowing
and
properly.
maybe next time you should try Zoom or you should try Google Meet. They tolerate network or problems actually. So please give it a
Yes,
consideration. All right. So
yes, I used them
sometimes people with
previously.
curiosity can actually detect serious attacks, which is why curiosity is considered a proactive defense major. Now, the next on the slide, I can't even find my slide again. Let me see.
Okay, I have the
Oh,
slide with
oh,
me, but I will try to
can you
move
be
it.
able to do it for me? Yeah. So let's go to the next slide.
Yes,
Now, the next quality or the next attribute is considered tenacity. Now, tenacity, in other words, could be persistence. People who are persistent, people who try as much as they can until they have exhausted all their options. So this is something to do with persistence, actually. So in cybersecurity, we believe that this idea of security is a marathon. Now, why do we say it's a marathon? Because it's a continuous process. You know, we don't get rest, we don't stop trying. Every day, every single hour, every single minute, every single second, new threats are emerging. And for that, one has to work extra harder to stay up to the task and to be able to crash every problem that could come up. Now, sometimes we may engage, or sometimes we may encounter what we call false alerts. Now, sometimes false alert can be very, very frustrating, and somebody has to go through them again and again, endlessly, to keep on checking on the logs, to keep on checking on the activities. And sometimes somebody may be kind of having to go through more than 1,000 security alerts. Now, tenacity is one of those abilities that allow you to actually get this kind of things done without having to kind of neglect something. So it is very important to possess this ability of tenacity to be able to succeed as a cybersecurity analyst or as a cybersecurity expert or as someone who wants to recruit someone for a cybersecurity role. Let's go to the next slide, Mariam.
Yes, sir.
Yes. On the next slide, we have another important attribute, which is ethics. By the way, I'm the director of ethics at the Institute of Cybersecurity and Digital Forensics Academy. And being a director in that directorate has exposed me to the ideas that I've never thought in my life. For example, in cybersecurity, one thing that holds the cybersecurity field is the idea of ethics. Now, we as cybersecurity experts, we are exposed to a lot of skills that sometimes can be harmful to others or even to ourselves. For example, somebody who is into cybersecurity, they just laugh when they see you being overprotective of your passwords, or when they see you carrying your phone to the toilets, or wherever you go, you have your phone, because we have the skills to do a lot of harm to others. Now, for somebody to be in cybersecurity, this idea of ethics has to be there in their mind, and it has to be natural. One has to teach themselves to use their skills in the right way and in the right manner and in the right place. This is why, if you look at the syllabus of ethical hacking, for those of you who have done ethical hacking today, in the past, or even maybe now, you to realize that one of the fundamental principles of ethical hacking is to maintain good ethics. With good ethics, somebody can be able to conduct themselves without falling into trouble. So it is very, very important to build a trust between your company and yourself, or between the people you work with, or even between your team members. So ethics is very, very essential. Now, moving to the next slide is about communication and emotional intelligence. Now, it will be thrilling to some of you to know that when I wanted to go for my degree, I actually couldn't go for computer science, even though my passion was in computer science. Mariam, I don't know if I'm still audible. You are the one that can
Yes, sir,
testify to
you are.
that.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
move to the next slide, please. Good. Now,
Okay.
during that period, I applied for bachelor in English, and a lot of people were, you want to become a computer scientist? How come you go for English? My plan was that I had no experience in science and mathematics. So, since that is the case, and I want to pursue the computer science field, so I decided to do my degree in English so that I build a good communication skills. And that has really helped me a lot in this field. Sometimes one of the bedrocks of becoming an expert in cybersecurity or any field within the computing environment is to own or to possess this very strong communication skills. Because sometimes we have to do a lot of talking, we have to do a lot of writing, because we're into report writing as well, we're into documentation
And
writing as well.
documentation.
So
Yes, sir.
sometimes it's very important to own this communication skills, so as to bridge the gap between the technical expert and the non-technical expert, because some people cannot understand the technicalities we possess, or some of the jargons that we use during our presentations. So it's very essential to own a very significant amount of communication skills. Now, talking about emotional intelligence is very essential to also understand people from their point of view, because sometimes it's not always about our point of view, it's not always about us, it's not always us. No, sometimes you have to put on your feet in somebody's shoe in order to understand. And emotional intelligence give you this ability to understand others, to understand their emotion and how to manage these emotions, as well as how to handle the stress of people, even your stress as well, how to mentor others and how to lead as a leader. So these are very essential skills required when or talking about these non-technical attributes. Now, Mariam, let's move to the next slide, which is research insight. Now, when building a human-centric security, there are things involved. Number one, the usability. In cybersecurity, we do not complicate things. We do not make things difficult for others. And the reason is because when things are complex, they are very difficult to understand. Now, when you transfer control of one entity to another person may not necessarily understand some of the technicalities or some of the complexities. And for that, it is very essential to maintain good usability and not to complicate the system. That is the first thing. Now, the second thing is the role based training. Teach people security based on their jobs. This is very essential. And the reason is because when you teach people things they don't know or things they don't understand, sometimes they end up messing the whole things. Number three, we have the leadership engagement. When leaders take security seriously, everyone else follows. That is just it. Sometimes when you,
Exactly.
as the leader, neglect your position, it becomes very difficult for your followers actually work on what you're doing or to even take you seriously. So this is why it's very essential as a leader to take care of this aspect. Now, what is next on the slide? I can't see properly. Mariam, can you read out the
Okay.
last point?
Okay. Oh, I just
All right.
moved it to the next slide. Okay, it's usability,
Okay.
simplicity, and
Yes. All
behavioral
right.
awareness.
Now, and oh yeah, thank you very much. Now we're talking about usability. Usability is just a way of saying making things user friendly. Making things user friendly make things much easier and much comprehensible. Now, I teach people on how to invest in stock market, and I have a lot of tools about stock market. I always tell people that go for those tools which are simple and friendly. And the reason is because even a non-technical person can actually have access to those kind of systems. And on the next slide, we are talking about hiring and mentoring. Now, when hiring and mentoring, as an employer or as a mentor, one thing you must understand is we don't just read people's resumes, we don't just read people's CVs. Sometimes we focus on their behavior based on questions. Okay, we look at certain behavior and we ask questions about, tell me about a time you have refused to give up on a problem. Maybe this will help you understand the tenacity nature of somebody. Okay, or sometimes you can ask questions that will pose something, or will force somebody into asking questions and then questions and then questions again and again, because through questions sometimes we solve problems. And again, it's very essential as a manager or as an employer to observe how candidates think. Do they just think haphazardly? Do they think critically? Do they read between the lines? These are very essential skills that we have to look out when talking about hiring people. And then finally, sometimes we need to discuss ethics openly. Honesty is on the top. For me, honesty is on the top. When somebody is honest, even if they are not very good, you can work with them because at least they are honest and they can give you their best when it comes to finishing projects and handling tasks. So sometimes it's good to understand people about their honesty by trying to ask them their previous experiences. This will really help in understanding who they are and how much integrity they possess. Now, let's move to the next slide. Now, in this slide, we're talking about building a culture of empowered defenders. Now, what do we inculcate in people who we hope will protect or give defensive to our systems? And by not focusing on the technical aspect of these skills, number one is to invest in engagement. Try to make people to learn to interact. Try to make people to uh, learn to coordinate among themselves, because people who do not interact sometimes cannot possibly understand other side of the world. And this applies even to children. Sometimes children who are caged at, they only go to school when they return from school, they just stay indoors. You realize that their socialization is very poor compared to children who are exposed to the outside world. So investing in engagement helps so much in inculcating good culture in a human centric team. That is number one. Number two, balance protection with usability. Make security rules practical, not frustrating. Sometimes it's easier to frustrate someone by making things a bit complex, but by balancing usability will help in ensuring that your team actually understand their target and they behave in the manner they should. Number three is recognize all strength. Sometimes some people are weak in some aspect, while some are better in the same aspect. So what do we do? Sometimes it's good to recognize all strength so that we take advantage of each one of them when the time shows itself. And lastly, cultivate resilience. Having a team that supports you emotionally and professionally sometimes can be of a very significant use to yourself as the employer or as the manager, as well as the team. Now, let's move to the next slide. Mariam, let's move to the next slide.
Okay. Yes, sir. Has it moved? It's taking a little bit longer from my end.
The same thing
Okay,
as
it
well.
has
Okay,
moved.
it's here. So the last and
Okay.
the final slide is on the issue of people being your greatest asset. Now, sometimes it is very essential that it's very essential for us to know that technology can fail. And perhaps it has been failing us since the start of this program. It's very obvious. So
Yes.
sometimes technology
Yes.
can fail. Now, what do you do when technology fails? You see, what happens is when you have well trained, well ethically motivated staff, curious people around you, they can easily adopt and they can easily respond to things. They can easily respond to problems. They can easily adopt to new technology. They can easily adopt to scalability and so many more. So it's very essential sometimes to focus more on building these non-technical skills, which are the curiosity, the tenacity, and the ethics. At least when technology fails, these characters will not fail. And this is the last slide. And thank you so much. I don't know, Mariam, if you have questions that you would like me to answer, or maybe from our audiences, the floor is yours. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us, and thank you very much, sir, for a well delivered presentation. And um, like I said at the beginning of this session, a lot of people are actually keen on building a successful career in tech, building a successful. You see so many ads online: break into tech, break into tech, break into tech. It is after learning how to build and break things, then when it's time to actually delve into the job market, you realize a lot of things in the job description: ability to do this, ability to do that, must possess this, must possess that. 99.9% of job descriptions you see are laced with requirements for these soft skills. However, there's little to no provision of that. And that is what we are trying to change at jobs. So, adding or reiterating to what Malam Muhammad, curiosity, I tell you, curious, the sky will be your limits. There is nowhere you wouldn't be able to go curious. And curiosity is what helps people become lifelong learners. Let me tell you, if you are in tech, you should brace up for lifelong learning. One of the key attributes of um, successful uh, tech leaders, lifelong learning. If you are curious, you would be able to adapt, because whenever something new up, you would want to learn, you would want to get to the root of it, how things are done, and that is a core skill in in tech. I am speaking from a lifelong learner perspective. There are other aspects of tech and even non-tech professions where you have to be a lifelong in order to succeed. I am talking from a broader perspective, and I am actually looking to pursue a career in cloud security. not just be a founder. Yes, I want to be an entrepreneur, but I am curious on how things work on the other side. So I chose to pursue a career in, and I have been taking courses, and let me tell you, they are complex. They are complex, but thanks to the tutors, they explain things in simpler forms, but it is quite overwhelming coming from a non-tech background. So I am curious. I want to know how it works. I have promised myself that I would learn, I would master, I would break things, and I will them. And this is just one aspect of it, and resilience. So the second point actually talked about
Before you
tenacity.
go to
Yes,
the
tenacity
second
is tied
point,
to resilience. Yes, sir.
yes, I want to just add on what you've just said about learning being a long life mission. Actually, I remember
Learner,
about
yes.
15 years ago when I told my dad that I want to join the IT. He said to me, before you join the IT, I want to set a condition for you. I said, what is the condition? He said, you should know that when you start, it has no ending. I said, what do you mean it has no
Yes.
ending? He said, this is a continuous learning, learning upon learning, learning upon learning, which means you cannot stop learning because every single day something new is emerging in this field. I say, oh,
Yes.
well, let me just give it a try. So actually, you are right. This is something that is very, very true. And everyone who knows the field very well will tell you for sure that when you join this field of study, it's not something that you just leave one day and then expect it to stay with you. You know, you have to keep pursuing, you have to keep learning, you have to keep mastering, and that is how it goes on and on and on and on. Inshallah.
Yes, exactly. So thank you very much for the contribution, sir. So tenacity is also tied to resilience. And just to let you know, some of these skills are actually dependent on the other. Because if you are curious, you feel there's no one who can stop you, and you keep pushing until you reach the end of the road. So by the end of the road, I mean to the root of the problem or what you want to solve. So and all this is actually tied to motivation. So one of the biggest assets you can have is motivation. If you are motivated to do something, you definitely push to see that you succeed in it. And that's why I said it, you have long learner. So if you're someone who would actually take courses just for the knowledge and abandon them because you feel you now know what they are, IT field is not for you. You need to look elsewhere. So ethics. So talking about ethics, ethics is something I have learned from school because I started working at school in my pre-degree stage. There was something like where people with good results were taught how to work just so we can gain the work experience. So as an art student, this helped me immensely as we do not have opportunities for IT. This was my first encounter with work ethics because if you want to live uh, for a couple of days, you need to submit um, a note or a notice stating your reasons why you are leaving and when you expect to be back. So knowing work ethics and an industry's ethics is what would actually set you apart, no doubt. And so the next step, which is one of the topmost demanded skill in tech and um, industry, is clear communication and emotion intelligence. Now, the ability to communicate complex points, the ability to paraphrase, the ability to express yourself different languages. So talking about different languages doesn't mean you have to say things from English to Hausa. That is actually a good skill to have, to possess as well. But the ability to express yourself in different ways, different manner, whether it's body language or the verbal aspect, believe me, you have a skill that is priceless. You have a skill that is priceless. And If you are not able to communicate effectively with people, they would not understand what you would say, and what you are saying or what you are trying to say, and you may end up getting frustrated and not actually open to saying more. Especially for some people who call themselves introverts. Well, they are introverts for a reason, but I believe some of them are not just introverts. They might have communication problems, and they probably haven't sought ways to solve that challenge they have. Intelligence. I can tell you that being in a highly technical, I have in one, but it is what I have been learning lately. And being in a highly technical environment, you need to be able to um, work with emotional intelligence. You need to know how to interact with people. You need to know how to handle difficult and tough situations. There might be instances where you would be working tooth and nail to solve a problem, but it wouldn't really it wouldn't get simply because of an error or a mistake somewhere. And when you get to that to the cause of that problem, you realize if you had known, you would have saved hours of trial and error, hours of tries what was actually not working. But emotional intelligence will keep you going, because on some days, for me being a lady, I feel like crying because what I am working on is actually not working. There is no progress. I feel stuck. I am not going forward nor moving backward. So you need a great deal of emotional intelligence to be in a technical domain. Last one is research and insights. Like I mentioned earlier, some or most of the things I learned outside schools are actually self-taught. And if you want to be in tech, you need to engage in research. And that is where lifelong learning comes in. Okay, you hear a new concept. Okay, what's that about? You learn, you research, you learn, you know how it is done. The world is dynamic, it keeps changing, and so is tech. So you need to be able to stay on top of research. You don't have to be here and there, but for the things that matter, you need to research on them immensely. So that is all I have to say. And apologies, there is no ground for questions and answers, because this is an entirely new tool that we I tried for time, unlike Google Meets where people join. Okay, so the comments here are just of Masha Allah. So there is no question so far, and I think we would come to the end of the session. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for joining, Malam. We sincerely appreciate this eye-opening, value-laden session with you, and we look forward to having more of this, inshallah.
Thank you very much, Mariam, for having me, and I also look forward to that. And I wish our audiences a very lovely evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So again, if anyone needs the slide, please don't hesitate to reach out to me via Facebook, or you can leave a comment on the YouTube live. I don't know if they would save it for us, but please do, and I would be more than happy to send it. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Mariam. You too.